Cases of Bill Gates and Sarah Palin are making us sick and cancerous and are killing us. That's what is going on, unfortunately. So I'm here to figure out what the new science is proving and telling us all about this. So let's jump inside and have a look. Right, so this is really interesting. It's really interesting. It's also horrible that we're actually, as humans, this is happening to us and will happen to us over the next few years. As soon as you see this video published, rest assured it's going to go on and become a little bit more prominent towards the end of the 2020s. So we have to be very careful. Plastic poses a threat to human health. Now, this is not new, but there's new kind of slant on this coming. And it says plastic contain leach hazardous chemicals. All plastics. I'm going to break down each and every one of them here. So the cases of, believe it or not, Bill Clinton and Sarah Palin are these cases that are going to kill you. Yes, they are. But what are the legal cases, you wonder? I never said legal cases. I meant those things they wear on their face. Those glasses. So if you're getting older, the cases of your glasses are plastic. And there's hazardous chemicals in them. These are all under the hood of EDCs, or endocrine disrupting chemicals. That means our hormones within our bodies are actually being disrupted by the plastics, the very plastics we have. So if we look a little bit deeper into it, it says plastics contain leach hazardous chemicals, including endocrine disrupting chemicals, or EDCs, and they threaten human health, said. An authoritative new report, Plastics, EDCs and Health, from the Endocrine Society, the IPEN, International Pollutants Elimination Network, presents a summary of international research. International, all through the world, plastics are going to affect us on the health impacts of EDCs, and describe their alarming, we've got to wake up to this. This is all what we've man-made ourselves. Problems. Now these EDCs are chemicals that disrupt the body's hormone systems. Now think of everything that's related to your hormones for a second. Sex. Who does not like sex? Well, the reality is sex likes you because you're born from sex. So it's affecting everybody. Our hormones are going to, of course, change our moods, and they're going to disrupt how we treat other people. And then our relationships are going to be then fragmented, disjointed. We're going to have different things going on in your head as opposed to my head. So if I get these EDCs in my system and there's a build-up, they can disrupt my hormones. It's going neurological into your brain, so it's not just psychological. Then the person that I'm communicating with is perhaps, if there's a build-up in their system of these EDCs, these plastics, they're going to have this, and we're going to have arguments. Now, what they reckon is that there's conservative estimates point to more than 1,000 manufactured chemicals in use today. Now, these are very conservative, so we're just taking it easy. We're not, going to town on it. Now, these leach from plastics that threaten our health include bisphenol A and related chemicals, flame retardants, and so on. Now, I'm going to go through each one of them here, but basic things like product packaging, cookware, healthcare, construction, flooring, children's toys, leisure goods, furniture, home electronics, textiles, automobiles and cosmetics. Think of the most popular places that we buy from: Costco in Britain, Europe, Tesco, in your local malls, in your 9-11s, 7-Elevens even. You're going to have all of these plastic based products. Even the food jars that we store and try to be proactive and cook on a Sunday for the week, we actually have plastics there. Now, okay, you might think, well, hey, you don't actually eat plastics. Absolutely not. But there's chemicals within them that are just gently and gradually rubbing onto the foods, getting into our own little ecosystem, which is our bodies. And these then are going to have this disruptive toxin effect on ourselves. So the key findings here is that 144 chemicals or chemical groups known to be hazardous to human health are actively used in plastics for functions varying from antimicrobial activity. Not your auntie, not your uncle, but it's antimicrobial activity. To colorants, think of colours, hair, food colourings, all the stuff that you get on the shelf with the E's. When I was a child, there was all this E123 business, which was the worst type of E, the worst type of ingredient that you could get. It could kill you. I remember as a child, it was like, you could die, don't take anything with E123. And we were looking through the ingredients and everything. Always look through your ingredients. Flame retardants, solvents, ultraviolet stabilizers, and plasticizers. So solvents, glues, right? Normal everyday things. Glues are fantastic. You know, these things that are on stickers for children. Plastic, tape. A lot of athletes use tape. Taping is a technique for athletes. These are things that are getting into our systems. Exposure can occur during the entire lifespan of plastic products, from the manufacturing process, the entire lifetime of the plastic, from the manufacturing process to consumer contact. See what I said about tape there? So the contact. Then of course there's the recycling element. So when you're recycling, you're disrupting what has originally been created by man, which is the actual plastic. So if we think that in a more macro and a bigger way, think of when a big building is being demolished. What happens? We have to stay away from that building, because we know that air that we breathe from that demolition can cause a horrible thing that goes into our lungs, and therefore can fester and give us something horrible again in years to come. For example, the horrible tragedy was 9/11. Back then in 2001, people were just desperate to be saved. You had firemen going into buildings. I know of one particular one, and they just lost their lives years later because of it, because of this cancerous causing material that went into their lungs. So if we look at some of these ones here, we look at the bisophenols. The first one, such as, well, chemical building blocks. I just mentioned that, the likes of all those blocks and what's going on. And then they're used in epoxy resins and reusable food containers and beverage containers. So often we bring water bottles. It's healthier because we're trying to be better to the environment. This is the irony of it all. We're trying to be better to the environment to actually not use a new water bottle every day when we're keeping fit. And then we use our own water bottle. But if it's based with plastic, what's going to happen? It's actually going to help harm ourselves without us realising it. So we have to be really, really wary of the product we buy that's going to be a constant friend as a water bottle. Got the other ones, and they have latex pants. Latex pants, again, we're talking about keeping fit, doing good things. The educated people are doing the right thing, they're keeping fit. But the latex pants are going to, we're going to sweat in them. And as we perspire, it's going to mix with that terrible plastic that's in there. So a lot of these things then, they impact on our brain development. So it mightn't just be my life or your life. And you might think, sure, look, there's all of these things like deodorants. You know, I need to use them for work every day, otherwise I can't pay my bills. I need to smell good. But BO, body odor, is not a nice thing. Nobody likes it. No one is going to accept you in the workplace if that's the case. But if you're working from home, why do you need to really and truly use as much deodorant as possible? Remember too, you're also going to breathe it in if you put it in the room, if you don't go outside the room, if you don't open the window and so on. The exposure is what we're worried about here, but it also goes through our genetics and into our children. And then further on down the line, it's going to create behavioural problems. And trust me, I know all about that. I've dealt with that. And once you have neurological stuff going on, things like autism and all these things further down the line can possibly result because of this. So that's how Bill and Sarah are in common with their cases. So hope you liked the video, hope it has taught us something and we can try and avoid it at some cost and are healthy because of it. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you very much if you have. Until next time, please do have a wonderful, healthy and safe day.